Welcome back to our very special countdown of the top 22 buzziest moments of RuPaul's Drag Race Queens on Hey Qween. Things are getting kooky. At number 14, we have Miss Tammie Brown. Ooh, Tammie was in a reading mood that day, right?
Didn't she join the reading rainbow?
Oh, she did.
Yes, she did.
She put on her glasses. She went to the library. And in this clip, she read Miss Santino Royce to death.
All of her rights.
I was going to say to life, but she read it to death.
To death.
To death. Tell him, Tammie. We were watching some of the clips last night from some of your Drag Race moments, and we were just, and Lady Red was tired. She was not having any of it, but when I put those Tammie Brown clips on, we were laughing. And you really, there was even a part where RuPaul was coming for you, and you were letting RuPaul have it.
How about that?
Well, because I've read your book.
Right.
You know? As I've read his book. I know where he buys his wigs. So, you know, bits and pieces in New York City.
Oh, right. And Santino Rice, I think that's where your famous quote of "You're not walking in nature and helping old ladies."
That's correct, because he was just saying awful things, and he looks like an acidic, you know, with his little curlies on the side juice, but more like acid, you know, like the alien. Ugly little bald-headed thing.
Oh, my God.
You know, and I said it here. And he will cower, and he runs off every time he sees us at one of those parties. He goes and hides. Yeah, you better hide.
Interesting. After all these years.
Santinas, ugh.
Oh, Lady Red. I didn't think I would need this, but oh, you broke the shade fan. You were so shady. I like it.
Well, just let the sun come in, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Let the sun come in. Hey, Qween. Coming in at number 13 is the other Tyra, Lady Red.
The other Tyra.
She seemed like she was MIA, but she popped up again at DragCon and then hopped her way onto Hey Qween. And while she was here, she helped explain why she's the only queen from RuPaul's Drag Race to have been on TMZ twice.
Ooh.
Tyra lets us have it in this clip of TMZ Tyra.
Yes.
So in the meantime, you went and got a car with nice window tints. You smoked a blunt, and you had a little bit of a blunt left. And you're like, let's head to North Carolina, y'all.
So this was back in 2000. This was in 2011, I believe. And I was with my boyfriend and my hairstylist, and that's when I was living in Atlanta, and we were headed out to North Carolina. And everyone's like, hey, are we gonna get some pot? We wanna smoke. It's like, okay, cool. And we got some, and then we're in the car, you know, chilling and relaxing, listening to music, like a normal road trip. And so they're like, light up. I'm like, okay, let's light up. And we lit up, and we're smoking, and next thing you know, there's cops just on the side of the road. And my boyfriend at the time, he was speeding, which is why they came after us. And so he was speeding, they put us over. And we're like, oh crap. And so he's like, you gotta eat the weed. And I'm like, what?
You gotta eat the weed. You gotta eat the weed.
I've never heard that before. So and
how many people were in the car and they were like, Tyra, you eat the weed. You eat the weed, Tyra.
It was 3 of us in the car, and so like we're smoking at the time, so we throw the blunt out the window, and all like the weed that hasn't been rolled. I started chomping down. Like, I don't know how to do this, and I didn't know. Like, I couldn't get it down. So I'm drinking soda, and I'm doing this, I'm doing that. So it's my boyfriend. The person in the back seat didn't do anything, and so we rolled the windows down, let some of the smoke out. I put my sunglasses on.
That'll fool them, Tyra. I'm sure that'll cover it up real good.
I was high. I didn't
Yeah,
know.
you were high and eating weed when you're good. I'm sure. That'll be fine.
And so he comes to my side of the car, and he's like, roll the window down. So he rolled it down, and he was like, are you guys smoking weed or anything? I was like, no, like we're cool, just hanging out. And you can clearly smell it in the car.
Yeah.
And so he was like, you're lying, we have to search the car. He made my boyfriend get out, which he's no longer my boyfriend, by the way. And made him get out the car, and he looked at me, he looked down, but I didn't get what he was saying. He had dropped some that was still in his hand. And we didn't know, so then they brought dogs. They made all of us get out of the car. My boyfriend starts crying, and in my head, I'm like, this punk ass bitch. I'm like, why are you crying? Like, what? I'm telling you guys, I was like, if you see the mugshot, you can tell my eyes are like this, like closed like that.
Right.
I was gone.
Right, because you had just eaten all that weed. It started to hit your bloodstream.
And so they find what he had dropped, and they're like, you guys are gonna go. So he calls his grandmother on the phone, let her know what's going on, and I can hear her. She's loud as day. You guys better eat the weed. And I'm like, well, how did she even know, like, to eat? I didn't.
Thank you, Grandma. Thank you, Grandma.
Hey Qween. Coming in at number 12, we have Jasmine Masters, ready here for your lovely pleasure, explaining how she got the whole thing going with Pop the Corn and Feed the Children, honey. Trust me, it's a delicious story.
Pop the corn,
Pop the corn.
Feed the children.
So I'm like 5, 6 years old or whatnot, and I'm at home, and my mom friend came over, and she just got off work, but she took her shoes off. And I was on the floor, I think I was playing with my racetrack or something, and maybe some Barbies or something. So I'm down there, and I happen to look over, and I see her feet, and it...
Horned up. Horned up.
Throwing up gang signs.
Yeah, and they going every which way, and they ashy on top, and I'm looking. So I'm, little kids, we didn't speak our mind, I speak my mind. I said, what happened to your feet? Like, what is that? And she said, oh, baby, those are corns. So my mom was in the kitchen at the time cooking, and I love corn, sweet corn, I'm a corn girl.
Right.
So when she said corn, I looked, and then I looked again in the kitchen, and I'm looking back and forth. So she was like, oh, no, that's two different things. So my mom was like, that's when she said some names go for, different stuff. So
Right, sometimes some things have two names.
Right.
Yeah.
So when we walking down, after we were leaving taping, we was headed back to our location, and this lady was walking down the street off of Highland. What goes on the Highland. And she was walking like her feet was killing her. So I said, girl, pop the corn so the kids can eat.
Okay.
And everybody else started falling out laughing. I didn't know what was so funny because I'm always saying something off the wall.
Yes, you
so
are.
They just started laughing and laughing, and we just kept saying it and saying it. So that's where that came from. And I don't know how. I don't even know if Fame was in the truck with us. I think she probably overheard it, but I don't know. But anyway, she had it wrong.
It was like Drag Race telephone. She's like, girl, you hear what Jasmine said?
Yeah, right.
Did you hear what she said? Yeah, and it eventually became your new catchphrase.
Yeah, and it's so wrong.
Hey Qween. Courtney Act brings us moment number 11. Whenever I think of Courtney Act, I just want to be like, hello, Courtney. Well, it's just my fake bad Australian accent.
I love it.
Hello, Courtney. Good day, Courtney. Jonny, please stop.
You always sound like a wonderful chimney sweep.
You're right. That's more like a British chimney sweep. Anyway, Courtney Act, the beautiful, lovely Courtney Act, brings us moment number 11 when she recounts the saga of what it took to get her infamous wing costume smuggled across the border to Los Angeles.
Wow.
Ooh. The bitches be doing a lot of shit to get their shit on RuPaul's Drag Race, Lenny.
That's the real tea.
That's the real tea.
I got on the blower and I'm like, where are those wings? Who's got those wings? And I tracked them down, like, basically in the middle of Australia. And then somebody drove them to like a city, and then someone else picked them up and drove them to another city. And then the Virgin Australia flight attendants like smuggled them across the border, like wrapped them up.
We're doing it for Courtney Act.
We're doing it for Courtney. For country, for Queen and country.
For Queen and country. They're like, we gotta do it. Sorry, miss, you're not on the plane. There's a wings in your seat. There's wings in your seat.
Oh, so yeah, I just kind of went wild, and I was like, if I'm not on RuPaul's Drag Race season 6, I'm gonna look so fucking good.
The Abby will have never known what hit it.
Damn.
Hey Qween. Things are just heating up on the countdown of our top 22 moments of RuPaul's Drag Race Queens on Hey Qween. Make sure you click through to the next episode to see who the viewers have voted as the top 22 moments and in what order. Ooh. Click on through as we continue counting down.
Oh, it's getting juicy.
Hey